Am I wrong for helping my dad's former mistress and her daughter? I am not Oop. Oop is you, Chaos Known 0909. Originally posted to R. Amy Wrong. Am I wrong for helping my dad's former mistress and her daughter? Trigger warnings. Infidelity. Child abandonment. Emotional abuse and manipulation. Verbal abuse. Familial betrayal. Predatory behavior. Slut shaming. Less than. And NBSP. Original post October 25, 2023. I, 25F, was an only child until all this went down. My mom, 45F, and dad, 65M, have been married for 26 years. So yeah, when they got together my mom was 19 and my dad was almost 40. My whole life I thought their age gap was weird. However, my parents for the most part appeared to be happy and in love. They adore me. So I guess I never really saw the problem until I put all the pieces together. My mom and dad are both professors, but at different colleges. My dad has always been that professor to go the extra mile and help students. I noticed in my late teen years he'd tutor students at our house. A couple of times he did it when my mom wasn't home and the students were usually female. When this would happen I'd tell my mom and she would always shut me down. She wasn't defensive, more dismissive. I moved out when I was 18 so I didn't see anything else. My dad retired pretty abruptly at the start of last year. He never gave any hint that he'd do this. He loves his job. I have now found out my dad got a 20-year-old student pregnant. We will call her B. B. 22F. Threatened to report him if he didn't help out with the child and he retired and ghosted her. B got in contact with me and explained everything. That my dad manipulated her. Said my mom was evil and that he'd leave my mom for her. She admits to being stupid and in love. They had a relationship for about a month, then he started ignoring her. She sent me a photo of my half-sister and she looked exactly like me. She's almost 2. B asked me to meet her and her daughter. And I said I'd think about it. I decided to let my mom beforehand and to my disgust she already knew. B has been contacting my mother this whole time and my mother ignored her. B and her daughter live in their car and all she wanted was a little support so they weren't homeless. I was disgusted with my mother and father. My dad ended up coming into the room in the middle of the conversation and told me B was just a slut and the kid wasn't his. He also admitted to cheating and said my mom had forgiven him. My mom laughed and said B was beneath them and if she wants help she can get on assistance. I was so angry I yelled at them. My dad asked how he could make it better and I said get a DNA test. It's been a few weeks and my dad is the father. I have met my little sister and B and I love them both so much already. B and her daughter have moved in with me and I'm helping B get a lawyer so she can go after my dad for child support. I've also found out my dad has had affairs with dozens of women ages 18-20. My dad's a creep and I can't even look at him. My mom found out about B and my sister living with me and she won't stop calling and texting me. She keeps calling me a traitor and saying if I don't make this right she'll disown me. I love my mom. I do. But I told her she has no right judging me when she knew all of this and did nothing to help and didn't hold my dad accountable. My dad sent me a text saying my mom won't leave the house and she has been crying because she just wants me to let this go. I ignored him. I don't know why I'm choosing this hill to die on, but it just feels like the right thing to do. However, I'm having second thoughts. Everyone is so upset and even B says I don't have to do this because she can see how stressed I am. So I guess I just need to know for sure. Am I wrong? Relevant comments. OK abbreviations 4510. I mean, B was young and taken advantage of, but she's not totally innocent. She was an adult and well aware that your dad was married. She made a choice to be with him. What your mother chooses to forgive within her own marriage is her own business. The only way she would be culpable is if she knew he was involved with underage girls. You can wish she demanded better for herself, but ultimately she has to be the one to make that decision. But it's not just her marriage, it's our family, and they both screwed that up. And you're right, she has to make a decision, and she has chosen to stand by a predator and demand more of me than she does of him. I will never respect her for that. Ruth Barb. The only thing worse than your creepy father is your mother. I guess she's still trying to tell herself that she was special. You may have more siblings out there. Nah, my dad's worse. My mom was groomed. Doesn't excuse her actions, but she can't see the light right now. And NBSP. Update October 27, 2023. Firstly, I want to thank you all for your sweet and encouraging comments. It hasn't been long, but there is a small update. I've agreed to meet with my mom. We spoke a bit and she told me she loves me. She apologized to me and said she will answer anything I have to ask. She said there's no excuse for her actions, but that she couldn't tell me everything right now, and we set a date to meet. The way she was acting on the phone was concerning. I do believe my dad might have been trying to listen in the background. She also wants to apologize to B and her daughter. I'm leaving that up to B. I told her I want complete honesty, and if I feel like she's being disingenuous, I'm going NC. That meeting will happen this weekend, and I will update you guys as soon as I can. I have no interest in being in contact with my dad. I also just wanted to clear some things up because it keeps being brought up in the comments. 1. My mother was never a student of my dad's. She lived in a different state when they met, and she never attended the place he taught at. 2. Anytime I saw a woman in our house, my mother was not there. She was either at work or traveling for work. 3. My mother got pregnant with me after she was already married to my dad. He did not marry her because she was pregnant, but I do believe he has always been this way, and she chose to stay with him because of me. My mother's side of the family is pretty conservative, so I imagine a divorce would not have went over well. I am going to ask her about that directly to be sure. 4. My dad has never been married before my mother. The good news is B starts her new job on Monday and she's super excited. I have been spending a lot of time with her and my sister, and I feel honored to be a part of their lives. B said she's going to move out of my place as soon as she can. Not because of anything bad, but she feels I need my space back. I told her she's welcome anytime, and we are actually scouting places within walking distance of my place so I can help with my sister. Once again, thank you guys so much for the support. This whole situation has been so stressful and overwhelming. Reading all the encouraging comments have really helped. And NBSP. This is a repost sub IAM, not oop. The dad is way older than the mom. And then it turns out the dad has a thing for a certain age bracket? Shocker. This is exactly why I always find large age gaps extremely suspicious. The men get older, but their girlfriends always stay the same age. So yeah, when they got together, my mom was 19 and my dad was almost 40. I think we all saw the rest of this post coming after that tidbit. As a woman who used to work as a professor, I wish I could nail this man's balls to the door of the faculty lounge. He used his position of trust to provide himself with a continuous buffet of impressionable young people. It's disgusting, and I really hate that he's slipped out of this without losing his job, reputation, pension, or freedom. What a disgusting individual. What terrifies me about the OOP's age is that her dad has a type and her friends are in that range. Was it just his students that he went after, or was it her friends as well? Also, the kid is 2. The dad retired a year ago. Meaning the kid was a year old. How much did the college know about his behavior? Full stop. That it's hinky that he'd retire after she asked for support for the kid. I'm wondering if it wasn't he retired and ghosted her, but more the college did a retire now. Because we don't want a media blitz, and then wouldn't give her any info. Because if he was having dozens of affairs, just from OOP's age, there's 25 years worth of multiple chances that there are more half-siblings than she even knows. Like the odds are stacked quite freaking heavily in the positive range. This would be a serious case of doing 23andMe just to make sure she doesn't wind up dating a half-brother, sister. Oop is a good egg. Who knows where they got it from, but the world is better for it. I disagree with the person saying that B isn't innocent. There is a reason why professors should not be in a relationship with students. The dynamic is already screwed because of the age gap, but adding the power a professor has over his students, especially if it is a charismatic, well-loved one, makes it even worse. This is one messed up Handmaid's Tale, and Oop is just putting her rosy glasses right back on. This is like the third post I have seen with creepy dudes in this sub.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epic Haircast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.